Announced that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1 billion, 300 million, trillion market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about, apparently, one of the biggest altcoin crashes that we have seen so far. And please let me quickly know if you can hear me all right, because I just messed with the cables on my computer here. So please let me know if everything's all right here. And let's jump right into the topic. So, good morning to each and every one of you. That was a little bit of a messed up start here for the live stream, but we have to talk about it because, I mean, one of the... Okay, everything good? Thank you very much. That is good. So, one of the altcoins in the market, Mantra apparently got at least rugged or something like that. We will see it in a second also, but in the charts and a couple of theories about this, what happened, it's not entirely clear, but it's down 95%, and I really hope that you don't have any in your portfolio. But it's a $5 billion altcoin which just disappeared, and it reminds me a lot of the Terra Luna. And many people probably also will be reminded about the end of the last bull run. The question, though, here is this really the end of the bull run, right? And we are going to talk about that as well, because we see things happen that are similar, but on the other hand, other fundamentals are not. So we really have to check a little bit our bias here and what's happening, right? But first of all, smash up the like button. If you're here, good morning to you. Let's have a sip of coffee, right? So coffee locked and loaded. That worked. And jump into crypto. First of all, look at Bitcoin as always, right? Just a quick look. We have ourselves a bounce here at this critical level of 74,000. 13.5% up. At 84,658 for everyone who's driving cars, so that you also know what the current level is. But obviously the crash is overshadowing any positive momentum right now. So look at this here. Actually, it doesn't look that bad, right? If you take the whole chart, but has actually reached 961 and is all the way down to 78 cents, right? And that is a massive liquidation, right? That the whole drop was 95. It's now down 91, and it's really, yeah, it has seen a big volume, right? Just like here, someone really sold hard into this and into that and dropped it into the order books, right? So that is crazy. Although it has only, let's say, it has only dropped to the major support that it formed over the entire time here, right? So let's just put that into perspective, right? That it has wicked through it, but it has stabilized in it or above it. That doesn't mean that I'm recommending to buy this now, but one can observe this. And on the other hand, right, I think founders and so on had over 90%. So yeah, let's see here. Troy Paris says, hello PH, it's getting dizzy out here. I was thinking of buying into it just because of the drop. Yeah, and that's exactly what I think many people have. And also one of my bigger mistakes was to throw money after a coin that has just basically imploded, right? I did that at Terra Luna, took another, I don't know, $200 and threw it after in the case that it recovers and everyone else was wrong. But it's very, very risky, and I don't know if it's worth that, right? But what happens if everyone gets scared and sells more, right? And I don't know, it's at 80 cents coming from 9, so it really needs a 10x to go back, right? Can that happen? Absolutely, right? But you want to see that stabilize here, right? But the positive news is, and maybe that maybe we can look at that first. I hope this is the official channel, but it seems like it is, right? I mean, yellow check mark and 615,000 followers. So they came out and said, Mantra community, we want to assure you that Mantra is fundamentally strong. Today's activity was triggered by reckless liquidation, not anything to do with the project. One thing we want to be clear on, this was not our team. We are looking into it and will share more details about what happened as soon as we can, right? So the only question is, why did that not bounce back immediately after this announcement, right? We have never really talked about OM here on this channel, but now it's time to talk about it, right? And they have here the partners lined up, it seems. Let's see here, what's the last update here? For an update on the latest on OM's market movements, please refer to our latest community update. We'll be providing further updates in the coming hours and days to discuss these events further. We greatly appreciate support that we have received over the past several hours, which we believe is the testament to strong support Mantra has among its investors and community. So let's see what that update was. Let's see here. Funny, they calling themselves Sherpas and Ommis. So okay, let's hope that it's the last coin that has a sound like this Omi to be fully down, right? And broader crypto community, first of the team, and I greatly appreciate the support, so says he, right? So that no one takes me here out of context. Appreciate the support that we have received over the past several hours, which we believe is a testament to the strong support Mantra has among its investors and community. We have determined that the OM market movements were triggered by reckless forced closure initiated by centralized exchanges on OM account holders. The timing and depth of the crash suggests that a very sudden closure of account positions was initiated without sufficient warning or notice. That has happened during low liquidity hours on a Sunday evening UTC, early morning Asia time, points to a degree of negligence at best, or possibly intentional market positioning taken by centralized exchanges. This was also many times already now the suspicion that centralized exchanges are basically the manipulating markets and even attacking coins, right? But this here is officially shared by the whole thing, right? And it's from 1:16 a.m. So this is about 6 hours before, right? Troy Paris says, I heard it was one large investor that got liquidated, then everyone panicked. So if that's the case, then I still don't get why it didn't bounce back, but maybe there's just not enough buying power at the moment as all markets are not up. But I mean, then if this is all true, and be very cautious, right? The name so close to Omi, yeah, exactly. That's a problem. But so let's just say very, very cautiously, if that is true, then this could really be a play, right? You could say then, okay, then maybe it comes back, right? Then you could play this and say, okay, I'm getting in at 78 cents, and maybe it goes back to $10, right? But even then, is it then really? Yeah. So right now, that tells us maybe not a new Terra Luna, right? Although this is very, like, maybe even a position taken by centralized exchanges or so. That could be, yeah. So those partners play an important role in providing liquidity to projects like ours. We work closely with them. However, they continue to exercise enormously high levels of discretion. When discretionary powers are exercised without due internal and external oversight, dislocations like what recently happened can and will occur, hurting both projects and investors alike. To be clear, this dislocation was not caused by the team, the Mantra Chain Association, its core advisors or mantras, investors selling tokens. So both, like this guy, but also retweeted by the Mantra team here, they both say it was no one of the team. And you cannot 100% trust in this, right? Because there were so many projects already where, while the team or someone from the team was rugging, to the outside they said everything's okay, right? So you can't fully trust. If you take a play on this, then you need to be, first of all, do it very, very diligently, very low amounts, obviously, and also be aware that this could be an ongoing rug, while telling everyone there's nothing to be worried about, right? That always needs to be in the back of your minds, right? So we see here also some very sad posts here, like this one. I invested 3.5 million into your RWA token, OM. That investment is now worth $200,000, a drop of over 90%. My intention was to support the future of RWAs. I conducted thorough due diligence, and the supposed partnership with the leading UAE property company was a key factor in my investment decision, a claim that gave illusion of credibility and legitimacy, and so on, right? So here are some of these texts. You can find them on Twitter. Maybe there's a good ending for this guy. But also here, see, OM is the Luna of the cycle. Maybe that's too early as to determine. We will see. 6 billion wiped out in 30 minutes. But why did it happen? So let's see what this guy says. It all started when a wallet believed to be connected to the Mantra Chain team suddenly deposited 3.9 million OM tokens on the exchange OKX. This got a lot of attention. The OM team reportedly controls about 90% of the token total supply. That means just a few people have most of the power over the token's price. That's already big red flag. Over the past year, there were already trust issues in the community. Some of the concerns included the team was allegedly using market makers to keep the price up artificially. They quietly changed the token's economics, and they kept up delaying a promised community airdrop and so on, right? So when that large token deposit hit OKX, people started to worry that big sell-off was coming, and they were right. Selling pressure began shortly after, but the situation got a lot worse because of something else, OTC deals. There were rumors that OM had made private deals with investors offering tokens at huge discount, some at 50% off or even more. So when the price dropped by 50%, all those OTC buyers were suddenly at a loss and panic kicked in. Everyone wanted to exit before the price falls further. This led to chain reaction. More people sold. Stop losses were triggered. Leverage positions started getting liquidated. The market basically collapsed. This wasn't just a price dip. It was a full-on meltdown. Over 5.5 billion in value vanished in no time. A lot of people got burned, including those who had no idea what's going on behind the scenes. So what's the takeaway? Be careful with tokens where a small group hold most of the supply. The team isn't transparent. Promises keep getting delayed. We see that in many altcoins, right? But that is just one explanation, right? So it's really these analyses against the word of the mantra team themselves, right? So some people saying, hey, this wallet that liquidated and caused this panic, it was actually linked to the OM token or to the team, whereas the team themselves say it has nothing to do with the team. So this is why I'm saying it's very intransparent what actually happens here, right, at the moment. And I, for myself, I just will not touch this at all, right? And just look what happens. So let's see here. 3.5 million was was zum Teufel. Troy USD is going to zero. Troy USDT is going to zero. I think a lot of altcoins are going to zero this cycle. OMI to zero. Yeah, we will see, right? I mean, it's there is a big difference still between, let me show you, between this and zero, right? There's a big difference, as you can fall another 95% and then you're at 4 cents, right? So a lot has to happen for that, right? For other coins. In this case, people panicked over this coin. As long though as Bitcoin is showing to hold support, and this support, by the way, right, we are at Bitcoin now, this support needs to, let's get rid of this quickly here. This was from the last stream. This support holding on the weekly, looking great on the monthly, right? As long as this is holding and the bull market is factually intact, as long people will not panic, right? But the moment that also BTC rolls over, we will see the nukes in all the coins, in all the altcoins, right? Will this happen right now? Probably not. Very likely not. I will show you in a second why. But we need to be at least aware of the possibility that something like this happens. Terra Luna was also a situation like this. And let's just assume that we are in a complacency phase and our all-time high is already in. Then this is exactly where Terra Luna situation happened, because in the last bull run, this situation happened basically here, right? So you had your new high, you corrected, but then everyone here said, oh, it's just a breather, right? Here in this part, and that basically we're going to go to a new high and the super cycle is on and so on. Things that you also hear right now. So obviously this says, or this tells us, be very careful here as well, because this was the complacency phase of the cycle. This was the thrill, the euphoria, right? The massive euphoria. And this, I'm not saying that we are there, but we need to be careful in those situations, because you will only know if you interpreted the Wall Street cheat sheet correctly once it's already done, once it's already impacted, right? So I will show you in a second the reason why I think this is going to go higher instead of crash, right? But for me, this blue line and this support, these are the lines in the sand for the bull run, in my opinion. Not wicks, but closes above or below this will tell me whether it's done or not, in my opinion, right? And right now it seems that we have some strength. We opened the week a little bit in the green. We have until the monthly. I will show you the monthly here as well, right? Look at the monthly. The monthly looks pretty strong, right? I mean, if we close this monthly even a little bit higher, we have, like, for example, at 86 or so, we have a big fat hammer here even, right? So this looks strong, but this also has 16, almost 17 days to go, right? So that remains to be seen, right? We're going to be here and cover it. By the way, guys, we have 21 people here, so make sure to smash up the like button here. Very important. Smash up the like button so that that I know that you want more of this and see these analyses, right? This is the reason why, global M2, okay? So tell me if this overlay of global M2 doesn't tell you, so if basically what they did, so the global M2 is front running Bitcoin with about 10 weeks, right? 10 weeks, let's not forget, is more than 2.5 months, right? So this is front running, but someone did the front, so usually you see the global liquidity charts with basically where you can see the front running as clear. Here, someone aligned the Bitcoin and the global liquidity, and then you see that basically there's not much sideways bottoming left until we should go up, right? Which coincides directly with those, 2-ish weeks at around the same level, maybe plus minus a couple of thousand and so on, right? But you see really every spike results after that in a spike in Bitcoin, right? And this is, but don't forget, this is the delay already, right? The delay is already written in here. So we have this topping, and then there was this basically these weeks of QT basically that still happened, and now look at this. Oh my God, big fat money printing candle, right? M2 candle. Look at this, a massive spike. So we should be starting this global M2 rally to mimic this fairly soon. We are apparently here, so maybe there's one more painful drop. Maybe that was already this. We don't know if this is this or this, right? But the bottoming phase should not take more than these couple of weeks, right? And we are already slowing down from this downwards trend. So we will see how this plays out. But this is the reason why I think that we are going to bounce here and go for the last leg up in this bull run. And this last leg up, it can be months. It can go until, I don't know, end of the year. But I think this might be the end of this very, very painful episode here of Bitcoin being down 32% almost from the all-time high. So let's keep that in mind. That and the gold chart, right, will be either everything's wrong this cycle or this will play out, right? There are only these two possibilities. One thing to look at, or one way to look at stuff, is also don't look at all-time highs, look at yearly lows. Okay, so here are the yearly lows outlined. $185, right? Really nice low to buy. Here already 25k, then some lows in between. But the trend of the lows is insane, right? So why should this be? So based on what is this different now? Just because some people are bearish in the dip? Not really, right? So we'll see. So the yearly low of 2025 until now was 75,000, And last year it was 38.5k, was the best entry that you could get, basically. Yeah. Troy says, let's hope there is still wife-changing money left on the table. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. And also, good morning to you, Trucking Inc. By the way, good morning to everyone who has joined here. Please smash up the like button if you haven't yet. Very important here. Memes are us also. Andreas Kapatos, Homie to Zero. Yeah, I saw this already. Okay. Let's see. We will only know once we know, right? Once there is either an altcoin season or there's not. That is the gamble. By the way, I found this fairly funny. The ultimate retaliation of China against Trump and the US. China retaliates against tariffs by putting worse fortune into cookies. You will not go very far in your life. Yeah, that would be the meanest retaliation that I've ever seen if they did this, because I mean, who doesn't like a nice wording out of a fortune cookie? That something like what we need is that China goes when China adopts crypto finally, right, and mainland China, that these cookies tell stuff like, don't worry, your shitcoin is going to 100x the cycle, or buy more, something like that. Imagine the effect on the world if they just brought out fortune cookies with like specific altcoins. It's like, it's going to pump next. OMI is going to pump next. Imagine how many people will then look this coin up and buy it because your fortune cookie told you. It's like the ultimate pump scam to go and put your coin into fortune cookie and sell that. Anyways, probably not going to happen, right? But here's another one, really interesting one, right? So 2016 deflation scare, bam, big drop on trend line, right, on the crypto market cap. And this is, by the way, this BTC against volatility index, right? Then here, sea crisis, bam, big scare, global pandemic, I don't know what, boom, on trend line, and then bull run. And then here also, boom, Asia crash, big scare. This is was the carry tariff, the carry trade last year, and now boom, we have another one, tariffs, right? Big scare, tariffs, and so on. Another one, boom, on the trend line. And what's next? The bounce. The bounce is next. It should be, at least, right? So let's see. Oh, hey, Green Lantern, what's going on? GMPH and fellow hodlers, good fortune to everyone. Exactly. Don't get the trade war fortune cookies. But instead, let's see here. Someone says if you look at the wider chart, trend is not respected. But I would say it is. I mean, the inception time here and so on, right? But still, I mean, it's a trend. Here, all the dots here, it doesn't quite touch it on the last one, nor did it here. If you really do it very neatly, but I mean, I think this is good enough, right? Okay. Look at the crypto bubbles, except like everything's up 10% except OM. Yeah, OM somewhat dropped out of the tops. Something else then entered, but everything's like 10, 11, 14%, 8% here. Fartcoin leading the charge as always, because people just don't. It's like you see your fellow altcoin holders going to the meat grinder, and they still just ape into a coin called Fartcoin, right? It's absolutely magnificent what this market has in store for us. It's crazy. Pendle 22%. Boom. Oh, it just updated. I think it was not updated. Look at that. Or something had just happened. Is OM still in the top 100, or is that just it fell from 57 to 77. Okay. Wow. Okay, it was not updated. I thought that we were a little bit green here today because Bitcoin is green, but no, we are not. We are absolutely not. There we go. Where is Rooster inside, man? Good question. Good question. Where is Rooster? Rooster still has. What did he say on the 16th? He said sell. He said sell on the 8th. Was it that? He said sell on the 8th and then come back on the 16th, and then the bull run starts on the 16th, like the big fat bull run. I think that was it, right? This is the weekly though. Yeah. Okay. So this is still. I mean, you see, look at this. You see minus 86 but then plus 96 for Altcoin. This is basically the crypto market in a nutshell, right? This is basically everything you need to know about crypto. And then you have like everything else in between. Yeah, these are basically the two extremes in the top 100 showing you the way. So that was By the way, do we have a CME gap or something like that? Doesn't look like it, to be honest. It does not look like it. CME says we are going a little bit higher though. DXY is red. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this is good. Look at this. Let's go to the weekly. So the DXY, and this is really, now this could be the beginning. This could be the beginning. Remember, we had all these points where we said, if we lose the support, it's going to be big crypto run, right? All of these points across the years. You guys were here, you remember. And it just came back, like it was a fake out. This time, it may not be the fake out. You see still here's the measured move, basically, or where it should go for us to have the big crypto run, right? If this comes true, and this is not confirmed yet, I'd say 3 days, at least 4 days, here, close the candle here, and go lower, then it's confirmed, right? Us losing support could be the next bull run, right? Because you see the first part of the run was this, right? Last bull runs were these two green boxes, were the last crypto bull runs where the DXY went from all the way up there, all the way down to this trend line, boom, right? So this could be, if we don't fake out, if we go lower here on the DXY, this could be where the bull run goes crazy, right? Could be. Let me quickly overlay here something, just so you see. BTC new price scale, right? I mean, we can't see it really here, but you kind of see it, right? This is where it turns around here, right? And this is your 2017 bull run. It's very small, but it's there, right? And it goes exactly until here where this touches, right? And then you have here this crashing into here, basically here where this touches the line. You're almost done with the bull run, right? You still have this, but this is where the double bottom was forming, right? So I'd say this is also where it starts crashing here, right? Is where the bottom was in on Bitcoin, right? So this is the Bitcoin bull run that we have right now. So now the question is, us crashing here on the DXY, will it lead to the next pump, right? It surely should, if everything goes like last time, right? So can recover? We discussed this in the beginning. It can, but really some things need to happen with this. Ferenc, so watch the beginning of the stream. Yeah, so that is that. Bitcoin dominance still up, going sideways, right? For sure, the crash contributed to that upside. That is for sure. Let's quickly look, instead of let's look at OMI. Wow. Yeah. Also at a very decisive point, I would say, right? I mean, this is the very lowest point of this wedge, where you really should bounce, otherwise problem. Yeah. The volume is high, but there's a lot of selling going on. Let's see. This is the monthly 16 days, right? But this is really not great. Not great on OMI in this case, right? OM and OMI, not great. Coins with OM, not great right now. Want to buy OM at these prices, but I remember doing the same with Luna. Exactly, Bodo, exactly. That is that is exactly also what I said in the beginning of the stream. That I remember throwing money after Luna, and then in the end it was not. You guys have to remember also when we were in the last in beginning of the bear market, I think even Do Kwon, while Terra was collapsing, Do Kwon came still out and said everything's alright, they're going to stabilize, no problem, right? So the mantra team coming out here and saying it wasn't them or no one from them is not a guarantee that in 24 hours it is not like, actually this wallet was ours and someone logged into it and ran away with a lot of money or so, right? So, I mean, there are so many coins. Altcoins in general are a little bit shaky. Why take the most risky one for a 10x, right? Yeah. My Luna is stuck still on Bit4x. Well, I hope you can get those 2 cents out one day. Or do you mean it's the OMI? The OMI Luna? I don't know. But yeah, so of course, it's a little bit funny. But this is what, I mean, we have seen the lowest prices. We still see OMI doing new all-time lows, right? Not all-time, by the way, cycle lows. Because all-time is still a 0 on top. But this doesn't mean we can't go to 0001 or something like that, right? So OMI definitely can go lower here. And yeah, you have to decide for yourself if you want to buy on these levels or not. There are people that are buying at these levels. And if that goes ever back to the all-time highs, then this is a pretty big return, right? I mean, that would be, what would that be? A 5,800% move, a roughly 60x if from where we are goes back to previous highs. Is that possible? Yes. Actually, to be fair, right? I mean, before buying we're back to all-time high. After all this mess is is only a 10x. OMI here, flipping green right now, by the way, is actually not only a 10x going back to all-time high, right? So yeah, just saying. But take this with a grain of salt. Yeah, so that is OMI, and then let's quickly take this and just go to VeVe. A quick look at VeVe as always, even though I don't have it on the thumbnail today, but doesn't matter. So they have just dropped these NFTs here. Also VeVeverse and stuff like that. So they've dropped Blackpink NFTs right now, a second time. These ones. So I think I don't know. Does anyone know if this sold out, or how this drop did? I did not see anything, but also this VeVe Diamond Heart or so for, I think, whoever has the was it for the previous one? But this was an airdrop reward, right? Yeah, so I think this was going on the weekend mostly. This looks very much like Mr. Falcon here. Is that Mr. Falcon? Or is this the other guy? I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, if anyone knows, let me know. But that's basically it here, what you can see for VeVe. We keep it short and simple today. It sold very little when I checked earlier. Okay. Yeah, I think right now, I mean, you see the buying is not going anywhere on the on the altcoin market. So the NFTs are really, really bad in the gutter, but let's hope they can recover. But anyways, guys, that's it. That's a wrap for today. Make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We are going to monitor closely what's happening to and all the other altcoins, how they are doing. And yeah, guys, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Enjoy your coffees, and I see you